Autoweb. Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Autoweb.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, the president of Dealer Synergy and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. And man, we have an amazing episode today in the Millionaire Car Salesman group and in the podcast. We've got David D. Pasquale, GM of Northtown Lexus. Correct, sir?
Correct.
All right, good. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be able to kind of share some of your background and your knowledge, but let's just get right into it. So just how long have you been in the automotive industry, sir?
I've been in the automotive industry 34 years, and
Okay.
I've been the GM at this particular store for the last 25 years.
Okay. And again, it's a single point Lexus dealership. You're in upstate New York, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. So the town that you're in is in Amherst, New York.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And how far is that from Buffalo and Rochester?
Buffalo is like 15 minutes away, and Rochester is about an hour away. So we're right outside of Buffalo. We are the Buffalo PMA.
All right. So you heard of, have you heard of 95.1, Radio 95.1 in Rochester Station?
I have heard of it. Yes.
Yeah, our radio show broadcasts there every week at 8 o'clock in the morning. So again, that's awesome that you're in Rochester area and that surrounding area. So I want to get into it. So again, you are a very successful Lexus dealer. Let's profile first the store really quick. How many units do you average a month at that dealership?
We average probably around 60 new and about 50 used a month.
Okay, awesome. And how many salespeople do you have?
We have 9 salespeople.
Okay, 9 salespeople. Do you have an internet department or BDC?
We have a large BDC. We're a group with 20 franchises and 9 rooftops. So we share a BDC with, within the group.
Okay, that's awesome. And how has the economy been, for you, especially being a Highline franchise? Lexus is a great brand, but I mean, the pandemic is the pandemic. How would you say that 2020, was and going into 21?
Well, I'll be real honest with you. Last year in March, when the governor closed down so many businesses, he said that only the general manager was considered allowed to be at the store and the people in service. So last March and April, it was just me at the store, and it was like the toughest time answering phone calls, moving cars, trying to sell cars. It was ridiculous. Then when everything started to open up in May, business became on fire, and it's been the best we've had probably in the last 12 years.
Well, that's amazing. So if I just heard you correctly, you just said that it's been the best the business has been in 12 years. I mean, that's saying a lot for a freaking Lexus dealership. I mean, like, seriously, like we're talking about that's crazy. It's been that good?
Yeah, it's been that good. The stimulus money last year helped. I'm sure the stimulus money this year or this week that's coming out is going to help a ton, because just think about it. An average family gets a chunk of change. They haven't been on vacation. What are they going to do with their money,
Okay, how has inventory been for you? Have you had inventory challenges?
Lexus is really a good brand, and they kept feeding us. I mean, don't get me wrong, it got thin for a while in July and August, but we were still able to sell cars, and our guests were very reasonable. Like, they would wait 2 weeks for a car, 3 weeks for a car. It wasn't a real issue by any means. We started so far in the hole at the end of April, and then it totally turned around. But it wasn't just Lexus; it was our whole group. I mean, and we're not in a robust economy. We're just in an average economy in Buffalo, New York.
Okay, this is amazing. Now, is there tell me about your team. Is there anybody that's lighting it up on the floor that's selling a lot of cars as an individual professional?
I have a couple guys that do that. I have one young guy that, he does extremely well in the luxury end. He probably averages around 22 cars a month.
Oh, that's strong for Lexus. Now, I just out of curiosity, does Lexus have spin money?
Very rarely do we, occasionally, let's say 3 times a year.
Okay. All right. And again, selling 22 Lexuses a month, that could be very profitable, correct?
Yep.
Okay, no problem. And now tell me about you said you sell about 110 cars total. How many come from the internet department versus the showroom? Do you have that ratio?
Um, it's very blended nowadays because you'll get a guest on the internet, and then since we're more in a small town, they'll want to come in and look. Um, probably actual transactions over the internet, 10%. Probably the lead that starts on the internet, 70%. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah.
But between, like places like Auto Trader, I mean, they're pulling the guest in. And I don't still see a lot of transactions over the internet. I see people filling the credit app out over the internet. I see people starting on the internet. But in between, they're coming in to look at colors, drive the car. We're still in a mode where we can't test drive a car with a guest. We have to give them the keys. They sign a form. They take the car for a ride, and they come back. And deliveries are pretty much the same way. We're not allowed to get in the car with the guest. So we hand them the keys. We go over things. We maybe give them a video on YouTube to go through, that type of thing.
Okay, so for me, it's really exciting. I get a lot of requests for people that are in sales and even middle management. They're sales managers or even desk managers, but they want to be able to understand how to get to that general manager level. I mean, like there's a lot of people being interviewed, salespeople, but I love interviewing GMs because to be a general manager is not really easy. I know some people might get a job, but to keep that job, that's a different story. And then especially for, a Lexus Highline franchise, I think that's a level of professionalism in itself. And then especially, I heard you say that you have 20 different franchises. So to be part of a dealer group, can you just kind of share with us your trajectory in your career? How long you've been in the automotive industry again? And, how has your career progressed from how you started to being the GM part of a dealer group?
So I started in our group 34 years ago in our leasing company. And our leasing company ended up being in the same building as our Lexus store. So after working for the leasing company for 3 years, we got the Lexus franchise in 1989. And so we had both for a while, leasing independent and Lexus. And Lexus turned out to be such a good find that we disbanded the leasing company. And I became just a salesman at Lexus. And I sold at Lexus for about 9 years. Probably after the 4th year, I became a big producer. And you almost didn't want to go into management when you're a big producer, But eventually, I think after my 9th year, I decided to go into sales. And then you become a sales manager. Then you become a used car manager. And then you hopefully someday become a general manager. And that's what I did. And during COVID, I took also over our used car end of our business at this store. And used cars today is so much different than it was 20-something years ago. You know what I mean? But one thing I've learned as a general manager, if I make change and I keep moving forward, the owners aren't going to change me, and I'm not going to go backwards, or I'm not going to lose my job. But I think you have to keep moving forward, or you're going to lose your seat. And I think that's the key about staying a general manager at the same store for 25 years.
So that's fascinating. What type of education you go through? Because here's what my experience is that once people become managers, like sales managers, not even GSMs or GMs, because they're so busy or because they think they've arrived, they don't really invest in education and self education and training. What do you do, or what have you done to self-educate and train?
Okay, so when I was a salesperson, I did the Tom Stuker back then. That was the big deal. Have you ever heard of Tom Stuker?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Tom was one of my guest speakers.
Okay, also did Dale Carnegie sales course. Did Dale Carnegie his other course? I'm just trying to think. Zig Ziglar's course, Tom Hopkins' course. So as a salesperson, I took all those courses. And then when I went into management, I joined a 20 group, which I think is key. Also, we have a corporate psychologist that comes in that works with us probably every 6 to 8 weeks in our group, which is kind of nice. He spends an hour with us, and that is also part of management. You know what I mean? And we try to take every management course we can. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a specific management.
Wait a minute, that's freaking interesting. Did you say corporate psychologist?
Yes.
That's probably the first time I've ever heard that interviewing somebody, like, ever in my career. I've been doing this for 22 years. So I think I know where you're going with this, but I'm so impressed. Can you explain a corporate psychologist?
So he comes in and he gets you to talk, and he'll say, "Hey, what's going on today?" And you'll say, "Today's a good day, but I'm running into a problem with one of my big producers. He's bullying people around." And then he'll say, "Well, how did you approach it?" And you start talking about how you approached it. And then he'll come back to you and say, "Do you think that was the right approach? Do you think you made strides there? Where are you now with him? Okay, why don't we bring him in? Why don't we get together, the three of us, and let's chat through it all." So we do a lot of, chatting, talking about how it's going. Then we listen to each other's sides. A lot of times he'll bring the third party in, and we'll lay it all on the table in a way that's not confrontational, a way that's kind of a teaching moment, a learning experience. And I think that's huge, because I think when you get into management, a lot of guys are control freaks and a lot of guys are intense. And I think he helps me with intensity and control, because I'd love to control everything at my store, but that's not real, Sean, right?
100%. So, wow. Like, how does your team react to the corporate psychologist?
They like it, because he always starts with, "Hey, Sean, how's your family today? Hey, Sean, what's going on in your life? Is your son just had his third birthday? Tell me a little bit about your son." And he kind of gets you in a positive mode, gets you talking, and we start talking lightly about business and things, and then we just get into what's on our mind. And I mean, let's face it, the smile on your face or the frown on your face kind of tells him what's going on, right?
100%. Let me reset the room right here.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hundreds of dealers have switched to VinQ in 2020. For a limited time, VinQ will match any special trial offers the other guys are throwing out there. With VinQ, replace 5 systems with one solution: market pricing, inventory management, wholesale and private party acquisitions, advertising, and reconditioning. Don't miss out on the chance for better data, increased churn, and higher gross per sale. Stop competing on price alone and start competing on value with VinQ. Request a live look at VinQ.com.
So this is Sean B. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy, the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook, 19,000 members, the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, 120,000 downloads, and now the Millionaire Car Salesman Club on Clubhouse. And we're racking up. This room is starting to fill up. David, again, this is pretty cool. We have Cody Carter. You know who Cody Carter is, sir?
I don't. I apologize.
No. It's okay. It's okay. Cody he works for Tustin Toyota in Orange County, California. This man just sold 117 cars on the showroom floor. And he just, that was in February. And then he sold 139.5 cars in December. He's the #1 Toyota truck salesperson in the world. And he's the #2 car salesperson in the world. The dude is a beast. And the reason why I bring him up is because of what you just said about leasing. See, most people don't realize in New York, and I'm in New Jersey and I'm from New York, in the Northeast, it's high lease penetration. Down South, I can't even believe that people are only, leasing in the 20 and 30%. If you don't mind me asking, what's your lease penetration for a Lexus dealership in the Northeast?
We're 65%, and I don't want to be any higher, That's kind of like where we want to be. There's some guys that are 90% in the East,
Yeah, Cody's 90%. So this is interesting. So why would you say that you're content at 60%?
65% I'm content, because I want to be able to walk in my service drive and grab you, Sean, and say, "Sean, we need to talk about the car that's out front." If everyone's in 3-year leases and I can't get you out that early, sometimes I can get you out after 2.5 years, maybe 2 years. But I like the guy that paid cash at times, that I can pull him out into another car. You know what I mean? I don't want my whole portfolio to be cash, but I think you want to blend, Sean. I really do, especially when you have unique stuff,
No, absolutely. That's why, look, like you just said, I heard you loud and clear, brother. You said you have been the most profitable in 12 years in the middle of a pandemic. So whatever is working for you, that's why I'm interviewing you, to pick your brain, because it's a different perspective. I mean, this is interesting, that philosophy you have on the lease strategy, and then also this corporate psychologist. This is pretty cool stuff. All right, now, what do you feel is the job description of a general manager? Like a real job description of a general manager? What do you? Yeah, it's a good question, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Honestly, you start early in the morning before you get to work. You're on the computer responding to all your emails because once you get to work, Sean, you don't have time almost to get on your computer the first 15 minutes because as soon as the general manager walks in the store, service manager wants to ask them a question, the GSM wants to ask them a question, title and billing has a question. So you really got to get on top of your game early in the morning. And basically, you have all the managers in the store report to you, and you always have to be in a good mood. You always have to have balance, and you always have to direct them in a positive way, regardless. Like today, my service manager come running in my office saying, hey, a customer just drove right through with his vehicle through our service drive and crashed the garage door. At that point, you say, is he okay? No worries. We'll call the garage door company. We'll get it handled. That's part of your job. But the weird part about being a general manager is it seems like you have to go through all the reports and everything on your own outside the office, I think. And when you're in the store, you're with guests, you're with your associates, and you're on top of your game, depending on what it is. If you have to make a phone call to the bank to ask a favor, whether light out front falls down or the AC breaks on the building, guess who's got to make the call? The GM, right?
100%.
And with COVID, there's added responsibility. If the health department comes in and says, hey, can I audit you and can I see your game plan? Because you have to have a game plan, at least in New York State, on how you clean the cars, how people are going for test drives, everything. So at the end of the day, the GM is responsible for everything. But I think the key is he needs a manager in every department that can handle the department, right? And move it forward. And you don't micromanage them, you just help them,
No, strong, absolutely strong. Now, obviously, I got prepped before we had this interview because I'm trying to be a super duper host with the most, right? And so I was really impressed with your digital presence. And, as you said before, the internet's pretty huge for any Lexus dealership, but especially being in New York, whether it's the origination or it's the completion, would you agree that the internet is pretty significant in your business?
It is huge, huge.
Okay, so then with that being said, again, if I'm understanding, because in the pre-interview questions, I was told that the website is one of the main lead generations and the highest converting aspects to your business. Is that correct?
It is.
Right.
It's key.
Okay, so on Clubhouse, what you might not be able to see this, so I'm going to talk you through this. And LA's blind, so you couldn't see this anyway, even if he was right here. So, and David, he really is blind. It's not a joke. All right, so I'm going to go to your website, and the website is it northtownlexus.com?
It is. Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I go to northtownlexus.com, first of all, I think this is obviously a Lexus compliant website. Let's go down here. I'm on Zoom. So I'm just kind of going through the experience. If I go to, I'm going to start over because I had pre-cached it. Sorry. So if I go to Northtown Lexus, if I go in here, because what was interesting to me is, okay, so when I first landed on your website, okay, it's a really clean, professional website. Okay, who's your website provider?
It's Dealer eProcess, and they're a bit unique. They're more of a boutique web provider. You get to know everybody on a first name basis. You're not calling a 1-800 number. And I'm a busy GM. That's what I need. I want to talk to the same guy all the time,
The site is really, it's beautiful looking, but I want to get into the conversions. But a couple of things I wanted to say right here: inventory specials, value your trade, and employment options. You know what I got to tell you? Kudos to you. Most dealerships don't I think almost every dealership struggles or suffers with HR or attrition. And most dealerships don't do anything to stop it, but right there smack on top of the fold is employment options right here. So I think that's kind of cool. And I want to acknowledge that because I don't see that on a lot of websites. And we do at Dealer Synergy a tremendous amount of recruiting staffing. I mean, we've placed over 35,000 automotive professionals in the last 17 years. And so it blows my mind that dealers don't do this simple thing that you're doing. So talk to me about the psychology of having just employment options right there on the homepage.
So, because we're a large group and we have 20 franchises, I want a certain type of associate to apply for a job. And I think people know right off the bat if they want to sell luxury cars versus, a volume car like Kia or Toyota. It's a different animal. And so we're looking for someone that wants to deal with affluent people, maybe someone that was a member of a country club, someone that knows how to listen well, has good people skills, and could deal with affluent people,
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so the site it loads really quickly. Do you know at the top of your head what the conversions are on your site? Any of the stats?
Yeah, I can tell you, let me kind of give you the overview. When I look at my site during peak times, I have probably 12,000 unique visitors a month go to my site during peak times. When you talk about conversions and things, what I look at is how long someone's on the site. I want you on my site as long as possible because I feel that starts our relationship. So if I can have you on my site for over 4 minutes, I feel like I'm winning. If you're off my site in a minute and a half, I screwed up. It was a bad conversation.
So what's your time on site?
My time on site right now, I think the last time I looked was 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And I had a lot of bots on my site, which probably made that worse. So I think it's over 4.5 minutes.
That's strong because to your point, a lot of these cookie cutter OEM sites, you know what I mean? Not yours, but like some of these other ones, I'm not going to mention any names. To your exact point, there's like, I've seen 45 seconds, a minute and 20 seconds, minute and a half. There's high bounce rates. And what dealers don't understand is that if they're spending, tens of thousands of dollars on PPC or digital spend to drive traffic to the website, if there's high bounce rates, if you've got like a 40 or 50% bounce rate, you're just pissing away $4,000 to $5,000 a month on a 10G a month budget. And so you do want to make sure that there's proper time on site and it converts. I got to be honest with you though, like for a GM, you seem pretty savvy. Not all GMs are this dialed in, you know what I mean? And so like, how did you get to learn and understand all this type of stuff?
So years ago with Lexus, we only had the option of 2 different websites providers. And, when you have, one of 2, you're constantly looking back, did I make the right call? So I would always get on the back end of the site to look on how many people are visiting my site. Because let's face it, Sean, nowadays we have 2 showrooms, one online and one here at the store. We have 2 lots, one here at this location and one online. So every day I look online as well as I look in my own showroom to see what's going on. And I think that the back end of your tool is just like walking into your showroom and on your lot. You have to do it every day.
Again, I want to just kind of just let people in Clubhouse know what's going on. This is Sean V. Bradley of Dealer Synergy and the Millionaire Car Salesman Group. And I'm interviewing right now for the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, David D. Pasquale, the general manager of Northtown Lexus in upstate New York in Amherst, which is right by Buffalo and in the middle of like Rochester. And he has basically said that he has had the best year, the most profitable success in 12 years. And that's a hard thing to say because Lexus is an amazing brand, and especially in upstate New York. So that's a power statement. So if you're in this room and you're getting value, make sure that you ping people to this room and make sure that you're also you following the Millionaire Car Salesman Club, or you apply to be a member of the club. And so back to David, man. Okay, so what I'm looking at the site is this. I like on the top 25 years elite of Lexus dealer, elite of Lexus dealership. So this is your value package statement. You've been serving the community for over 25 years, and again, to you, this is a high performing, high converting site. You know what I tell though? Let's do the taste test. You don't even know what I'm going to do. And David I swear to you people, I keep it real with you all. David doesn't know what I'm about to do. Okay. And so David, you ready to play?
I'm ready to play. Let's go.
Okay, we're ready to play if this site is bullshit or not. Okay. And how we're going to tell that is it looks pretty, but we're going to look under the hood. So David's polished in Lexus. You don't even know who what show he's on. This is the Keep It Real show. So I'm going to Google right now and I'm typing 2021 Lexus RX Rochester, New York. The reason why I'm doing that is
Buffalo though, Sean.
That's why I'm doing that. Okay. So that's why I'm doing that. Now, when you click it, let's just see here.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
At the very first Dealer eProcess keynote, Gino Ciparroni and Sam Vukas introduced new tools and strategies to drive conversion, new designs to increase customer engagement, and new technologies to dominate the competition. Visit dealereprocess.com/keynote to watch and see what's new in 2021.
Okay. So what right here, let me count. He got nervous for a second there. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't want to be like, look at this. Hold on. The ads don't count. See, PPC for me doesn't count, David, because only about 6% of people are going to click the pay-per-click ads. I wrote a book called Win the Game of Googleopoly. I'm about page 1 dominance and the top 10 positions. So let's count. First position, natural Google is Edmunds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy crap. Can you read what number 6 is out loud, David?
Northtown Lexus, Sean.
Okay. So now Northtown Lexus is indexing in the top 5 or top 6 organic Google for how many minutes away?
That's an hour away, so 60 miles.
Okay, that, my folks, is what you call gangster SEO right there. Okay, that's soprano SEO right there, because he's an hour outside of his dealership, but in another, major city, the only other one close to Buffalo, but it's like an hour away. But now let's change Rochester to, let's make it a little bit easier now, to Buffalo. And let's just see, because that would be embarrassing if you showed up for Rochester, not Buffalo. So you go into Buffalo, and where are we at right here? First position, natural Google is, what does that say?
Northtown Lex. Wait a minute. That one? Northtown Lexus. Yeah, I'm sorry.
First position, natural Google. It says Northtown Lexus. And so I'm in New Jersey right now. And so it's not like I'm like on your IP or I'm like, yeah, this is real legitimate SEO that's happening here, really valid SEO. So now let's go through this really quick. The other one I want to go through is the name of the town that you're in is what? Amherst? How do you spell that?
Amherst.
I got it right there. And so you are first and second position natural Google for Northtown Lexus. So the reason why I do this is that, man, I got to just tell you, brother, when people say they do really good on the internet, I want to basically look at home base first, because I'm all about third-party providers. Everybody knows that I'm always talking about AutoWeb or Cars Direct or Auto Credit Express. But the reality is, and they'll even tell you this, is that you'll have a higher conversion ratio off of your own websites. You have the highest conversion ratio. It's the highest quality traffic. It's the highest gross, is all coming off of your own dealership website. But most dealers, unfortunately, they spend $100 on ketchup and $5 on a steak. What does that mean? They have these companies that just pour all this PPC, but have a crappy SEO. So I wanted to be able to see how is your organic. And now, if I'm understanding, because I was like kind of playing on your website here, in the top right-hand corner, you've got a research button here. Can you explain this, what this whole section is right here?
It's kind of small, but from what I can see, basically you can click anything you want and it'll direct you toward that model. It's just kind of real small for me to see, Sean. So maybe you can help me.
So what I'm going to say so this is how you guys crush this. Okay. So again, because this is what I do for a living is I'm a digital marketer and I understand SEO. So what they're having is, I'm assuming that you guys are specifically doing advanced SEO. This is definitely not a basic SEO package. So do you know off the top of your head if you're paying for like advanced SEO?
We are. We're at the top. We're at the top package with.
Okay, well, I can tell you get what you pay for, because what people think is that they think that they're going to have the basic ghetto out of the box, like, regular SEO H1, H2s, and they're going to be able to index organically for an hour out of the way, competing with another highline dealership that's got money. Because I'm assuming that the other Lexus dealership in Rochester could afford for marketing and advertising. So it's not just about who could you outspend, it's out strategize. And what I'm seeing here is the advanced SEO with these product pages. These are like landing pages, and it's like 2021 Lexus RX, and then it's got all the details. So what happens is, to me, and I'm just looking at your website, like, this is fascinating, is that it's not like you just built a website and you're done. Part of your strategy for lead generation is investing more and more into your website. So instead of spending a ton of money on just pay-per-click, because I saw you have some PPC ads, but I see like you're investing a lot into your organic. So what is the percentage spend? Just out of curiosity, what is the percentage spend from organic SEO strategy versus PPC? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I don't know exactly, because to be honest with you, everything changes, and we have corporate money, we have our money, so it's kind of tough. One thing I can say is, you're at the top with your cursor. Go under technology center right there, Sean.
Yeah.
Go under technology videos.
Okay.
So we built these videos to help our guests. So click on the first one under RX up top.
Yeah.
And this particular video, how to program your garage door, has been played on YouTube more than any video I've seen in forever. I mean, I can't tell you, but I bet over 200,000 people have seen this video. And so, I got to think that things like this help us an awful lot.
Well, wait a minute. Let me just keep it real right here. So on this particular video, there's 92,000, but that's organic, and that's the technology center in the top right-hand corner, the drop down. There's about technology and technology videos. There's a video there for the RX, LS, GS, LX, ES, GX, IS, NX, LC, and RC. And then you have your technology specialists that are here. This is freaking phenomenal. So are you tracking the traffic through Google Analytics? How many people go to this section here?
Quite a few. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but tomorrow I have a Google Analytics meeting with Shift Digital to kind of go over a lot of things, not specifically this, but just things in general. But we've been finding that if we offer technology videos, let's say there's 3 or 4 for each model, it helps guests a ton. And then they come back to our site, and it's part of the relationship. So I keep saying, we have a lot here and we have a lot online. We have a relationship with the guest here and we have a relationship with the guest online. So all I'm trying to do is make the relationship, whether it's online or here, the same,
Hey, just out of curiosity, because I'm just really just curious here. Did you realize that you were indexing for Rochester and freaking Amherst?
No, because with Lexus, we're not allowed to market outside our PMA. So my goal isn't to go there. However, if I can pick it up, that's terrific. But my goal is to make sure in my market, I'm indexing.
You're murdering your market. Your organic SEO is off the hook, man. I'm super impressed. I want to just try something. I'm just curious. What is the number one competitor that you have? For your vehicle. So what's the number one? Would it be Mercedes or BMW? What would you say?
My market, Cadillac and BMW, because there's several GM plants here. So they all get the GM discount, but it's really not my buyer. Typically it's BMW.
Okay. So BMW, what? So would you say a BMW, 3 Series or like that?
I would say right now X5 and the X3 are probably their hot products, right? SUVs.
Right. Okay, and it's Amherst. Okay, I'm just curious what happened.
I mean, if you want to type the dealership's name in, because there's only one dealer in that area.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Let's just go see. I'm just looking at it. So what's the name of the dealership?
Town BMW, TOWNE.
Okay, so I'm going to try a couple different searches. So it's Town BMW. Okay, so let's look in Town BMW. So are you conquesting on here?
To a degree I am. Yeah, I think
Northtown. So that's your dealer group, right?
Yeah, that's our group.
Okay, so so the dealer group.
I conquest models, not their name always,
Yes, I'm going to try the. You said the BMW X5. So let's just go through 2021. So you did show up. That was pretty impressive. So BMW X5 Amherst, New York. I just want to see. So you have Northtown. So if
I'm not showing up in the top 5 or 6, it's probably something new since first of the year, And Sean, this is why you constantly have to go back on and do your homework all the time, because I used to always show up number 2 here.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't even look I'm showing up in the top 15, does it?
No, but it's okay though. But again, I'm still honestly blown away by the fact that you're indexing for your targeted, this is conquesting. So this is a different strategy. But what you just said, to your point, because what you've proved unequivocally, that you are so dialed in with SEO, SEM, digital marketing, I think way more than the average general manager is. And you understand that this is a moving target, which is awesome. So question for you, because I want to transition off of this and I want to allow some of our people in Clubhouse to ask you some questions, because I have people that are like raising their hand like crazy because they don't get the opportunity to ask questions to a general manager of a highline dealership like you is this. What is the most important strategy that you want to be able to adhere to for your website? Because like I said, I'm really impressed with the flow, the continuity, the UI, the UX that's here, but the content, I mean, from the research section to the technology center. And I work with a bunch of other, Lexus dealerships and highlight stores. And this is not a Lexus thing. This is definitely something that you're doing unique of other Lexus stores.
So Sean, do me a favor, click on any pre-owned car real quick.
Okay. So I'm going to go into pre-owned, browse pre-owned inventory.
So, if you click on any one VDP.
Right. Perfect. So I'll go to this one right here, the certified, the Lexus NX 300 base.
Okay.
Okay.
And so like what we've done here.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, Tim Cox from CarNow, and we would love the privilege and honor to be able to partner with you, our dealer partner, and show you why we continue to be the most awarded communication and digital retailing platform in automotive. What's the buzz about? We'd love to show you why. Please click the link below and let's partner together.
We have two videos.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We have one of a young girl, an attractive young girl talking about we're one price on used cars. We're going to save you a lot of time. And then we have another video right below the car that talks about the features of the car. So we believe that we need to accommodate all age groups. If you look within my VDP, I have the hours, I have a map, I have the equipment on the car, I have the opportunity for you to read reviews. I have testimonials. I have awards we've won. So we try to pack as much in, not just the car, but a lot about selling us, and what we do every day. We try to make it user-friendly and looking good. I guess, I'm not sure we always do the best job there, but it looks good to me. It's clean.
Let me jump in. I like this because a couple of things that I'm seeing as a consultant, as a trainer, obviously you have the pricing of the vehicle, but what I like here is that you also have the finance option, because most people, even Highline, they still, the shop payment is important for whether they're budgeting. And what blows me away in 2021, David, there's a bunch of stores that their VDPs only give pricing, not payments or payment, possibilities. Is this part of dealer e-process, or is this an API from another external inventory tool?
So Dealer eProcess is our tool that we use to calculate payments. They call it Sarah. I don't know what Sarah, I don't remember what Sarah technically stands for, but it's pretty awesome because it allows the guests to even put their credit score in, or if not, they could just fill out a few things and they have like a quick credit check that gives you an idea of your credit range. So you get a real rate. And then we have 3 to 4 banks typically that they can choose from, and allows them to pick the right terms and so forth. So whether they're financing or doing a lease, it works pretty well. But Dealer E, like I said, they're a boutique agency, and they've helped us design this the way we felt was best for our customers, because we're in Buffalo with an aging population, and it has to be helpful to someone that's 75. But yet I also want to appeal to the 30-year-old that's up and coming, so that they like our site and they can buy a car,
Yeah, I love this. I'm going to go through a couple things that I see here. This is the VDP here is really awesome. I love on the vehicle, this pre-owned vehicle, it's got all the awards that vehicle's won. It says best overall value 2018 IntelliChoice. You got best retained value luxury brand honorable mention 2018 model Edmunds, Kelly Blue Book. So you got all the awards here. You got all the crash ratings here. You got your green score here from fuel type, air pollution. Then what I like is you have the Google, your Google business integrated in here, where it shows that you have 396 reviews at 4.5 stars. This is all off of the VDP. And if I can, I want to play this video of this female representative from your organization. Let's hear what it says.
Northtown Lexus makes purchasing a pre-owned vehicle fast, easy, and trouble-free with market transaction pricing. It allows you to shop online at northtownlexus.com or come on into the dealership to see our best possible price. Here's how easy it is. Every vehicle must meet the strictest guidelines to even qualify. Each vehicle is thoroughly inspected bumper to bumper to make sure it has the right condition, equipment, miles, and desirability. Then our factory trained technicians perform a rigorous safety and mechanical inspection, including the tires, brakes, wipers, which all pass a benchmark standard. Finally, the vehicle is road tested to make sure everything is performing properly. We set our market transaction pricing by using a wide variety of technology like Kelley Blue Book, Carfax, and Edmunds to make sure we're giving you a great and competitive price that you can feel good about. There's no negotiating the price because we've already done all the comparing and shopping in the market for you based off of competitive data. Of course, feel free to see for yourself. Remember, go to northtownlexus.com or come into our dealership to see our competitive pricing and run the Carfax free of charge. If you're looking for a time-saving, transparent, and hassle-free experience, then shop Northtown Lexus today. We're located at 3845 Sheridan Drive in Amherst. Come on in. We'd love to see you.
Hey, I got a question. Why am I interviewing Hugh? Why am I not interviewing her? I'm like, kidding. Dude, this is freaking awesome. Like, all kidding aside, this is how cars should be displayed and how people should be able to shop. This is really convenient. Okay, let's talk about digital retailing because we talk about this whole pandemic thing. Do you have digital retailing?
We do.
Okay, so show me where I could do that. It says check availability. It says get pre-approved, confirm availability, value trade, request information. So
okay, so I think right in the area you're at, doesn't it say calculated payment or I can't, it's kind of small, but doesn't it say in black, what's it say above that, the line right above that?
Personalized payment.
Yeah, personalized payment. Click on that.
Okay, I'm doing that right now.
So when you personalize your payment, it's going to ask you for just a few basic pieces of information. And then, Sean, you can put how much money you want to put in. See up top right there where it says the amount to finance, cash down, so forth?
Yes. Okay, available offers, financing or cash down. And it shows advertised offer from Ally at 4.5. And it says offer number 2 from Chase, and it says question mark. Okay, so explain to me what the user goes through from here.
So, you know what? I'm going to pull it up on my machine because yours is just the view is kind of small.
Sorry.
But I mean, basically the way it works is without giving me all your information, you can get an idea of what this car is going to run you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, let's face it. Everybody wants to know, can they afford this luxury car?
Right.
So, once they're on the VDP, they could personalize their payment. That's what you clicked on.
Yes.
And so basically I can check what term I want, how much money I want to put down. And basically I can also do a quick credit app if I'd like. The quick credit app will give me an idea whether I'm going to get a 4% interest rate or a 20% interest rate. But I can change it all. And it's just kind of nice. And, you can play with it. You can add your trade, click the button to add your trade and so forth. So
I'm curious, what's the percentage or the number itself of how many people utilize digital retailing to do the majority or all of their shopping and purchasing through you guys?
I would think right now, the last stat I saw is we probably have 20% of the people that are going to finance or lease that are on it. The cash buyer's not going to play with it, but anyone that's trying to figure out a payment or lease, high. Probably 20% are going through this.
Dave, that's high. From my research, talking to just straight digital retailing companies, even the pandemic, it was maybe like 12 to 14%. That's amazing that you have 20% of people going through this. So, can you tell us what the process is? If I'm looking for an RX, right? How long does it take somebody on average from deciding, hey, to reach out to you or go to your website to go through this and either go through the full digital retailing or do some of this or most of this and then convert to a live representative at the store to sell to buying a car? How long does this take you?
So I can give you firsthand info here because last year when the dealership was kind of closed with COVID, I was the one that had to be on here all the time. So it was real simple. A guest would basically pick out a car on the website. From there, they would get a price right off the website, okay? Probably not all of them, but let's say 20% would calculate a payment because it was so easy. And then the next step, they would call us or send us an email. We'd respond immediately. And when I responded, my next response was, I'd love to help you. By the way, I just sent you the link for our credit application. If you'd like to fill out our credit application, we can get to the next step. You would be surprised how many people after that point would fill out the credit application right off the bat or make an appointment. But I think if you move forward with people, they just kind of keep going with it. So it's really up to us. But the first step is for them to go on the site, pick out a car. Second step is them to have an idea on payments, whether it's through me or through the website. Then we typically ask them if they want to fill out a credit app or go for a test drive. And I would say 3/4 of them want to go for the test drive first. During COVID, it was kind of tough, but we did it. And then as soon as they go for the test drive, a lot of people want to go home and fill out the credit app at home, Sean. They don't want to be in the dealership right now during COVID. They want to do as much as they can online. And I think that's where Dealer E really helps us because the tools are very easy to use. They're just user-friendly. And just think about it. You can text me your driver's license. You could fill out the credit app online. You call your insurance company, Geico, with an app nowadays. So all you have to do is just come in the second time to pick up the car, right?
Absolutely, man. This has been phenomenal, David. To being able to interview a high-level general manager with, over 3 decades in the industry, working for a very respected dealer group in upstate New York. But let's turn it over to either my panel or to the audience. Before I do, I want to just reset the room one more time. This is Sean V. Bradley, the president of Dealer Synergy and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group, the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, and the now brand new Millionaire Car Salesman Club on Clubhouse. And I'm interviewing David DePasquale of Northtown Lexus. And I want to be able to just ask the audience, or LA or Joe Calitz or Kevin, do you guys have questions for David? Okay, so if you've got a question, just open up your mic and ask away or raise your hand. I'll bring you to the stage. Karen from Canada. Kevin. Okay, here we go. LA.
Hey guys, so I got knocked off the Zoom. But hey, listen, first of all, I just want to give David some kudos because for you to have 30 years in the industry and not be stuck in your old school ways and all of that other different type of stuff, as so many people are. Again, that just speaks to who you are as an individual, understanding that you have to keep growing, right? Because either you're growing or you're dying, and I love that you choose to keep growing. I just wanted to give you those kudos, man, for real, for real.
No, absolutely. Look, I meant it, David, like the fact that you're that progressive and you're in the know with all this digital advanced stuff is pretty freaking impressive. Like you were on top of it. It's not like you prepped for this interview. We just, connected and here we are. All right. So let's open up Kevin. Kevin's a sales manager at a very respected dealer group in Chicago. Kevin, take your mic off. What's up?
What's up, my bro?
What's up? What question?
I'm with stuff you touched on. The digital, the SEO stuff is I'm far from being a master ninja like you on that stuff. The only little bit I do know about it, I've learned from you in your training platform and stuff. But I'm definitely still with you, consider myself a novice on that. But I do know the importance of it, and for a high level GM to be so on top of it is very impressive to me.
So isn't it did you learn anything from going through this on how he's got his VDP set up and his SEO strategy? What did you get out of this so far?
Again, for me, that stuff is more advanced for me. I haven't really moved as deep into that as.
So here's my point. No, it's okay. But here's my point. So David, let me just jump in. So Kevin's a really strong sales manager for the McGrath Auto Group in Chicago, major city. This guy's a great car guy, desk guy. And again, respectfully, he's younger than you. And you just basically whipped his ass, with knowledge on digital. Kevin, I'm just messing with you. I love you, brother. But what I'm saying is that his point is that that's pretty impressive. You know what I mean? Again, that you are a higher level, it's usually the younger generation or the people that are closer to the front lines that have the subject matter information that you did. So I got a question while we wait for the next person to open their mic or raise their hand. How did you get all this knowledge, and why did you decide it was important for you to learn how to do as a GM?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Attention auto dealers, you need an opportunity to do business. AutoWeb is one of the largest suppliers of high quality leads, high quality buyers. At a 10% closing ratio, you will be at less than $190 per car sold. Don't just settle for what you get. AutoWeb can fully customize your results through targeted markets and/or zip codes, and as a partner, you will get premium placement within search results. Who better to do that than literally the people that invented automotive internet sales? If you want to sell more cars more often and more profitably, then you need AutoWeb.
Let's face it, GM nowadays doesn't seem to last at a store more than 3 or 4 years unless he's on his game. So, whether it's this or our CRM, you got to know it as well as your salespeople know it, don't you think? Or your colleagues. But I got to tell you one thing, COVID was really powerful because it brought us back to basics on, as a dealer, you really need to know everything, don't you?
Yes. And again, to your point on here, during the most difficult thing that this planet has seen in my 44 years on this planet, not only were you able to survive, but you've been able to thrive to the point where you said you've been the most profitable in the last 12 freaking years. And that's a bold statement for a Lexus dealership, again, in upstate New York. So, okay, again, everybody, this is a rare opportunity to be able to ask a question, or questions plural, with a general manager of a Highline Lexus dealership. So if you're just, plugging into the clubhouse, raise your hand or open your mic if you've got any questions. Roderick just came to the stage. Roderick, do you have a question? Yeah, absolutely. I'm in there right now. And okay, so yeah, absolutely. So Gino just turned, so this is going to be a great interview. Everyone get ready for David to drop some knowledge. Yeah, this is amazing. So Gino, we're in here already, and it's pretty powerful. He's been dropping like bombs, like knowledge bombs on here. So Roderick, do you have a statement or a question for David? Hey,
yeah, I got a question. Can you walk us through, like if we were to look back a year ago, we were going down, the stock market was dropping, the quickest drawdown that it's ever seen in history. Can you walk us through week by week, like what February 2020 looks like, when things started to dry up? As it went by the weeks, and kind of how things came back, and just give us a picture of what that was like, please.
So again, if I'm understanding the question, you're talking about as just going back from February to now, or farther back than that? February a year ago. So yeah. So can you give a trajectory approximately? Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So David, what he's asking is from last February. So over a year ago, what was that like? Let's just, I don't know if you could right now on a Clubhouse Zoom, meeting, go through like week by week, but I definitely think month by month. What happened from February? Was there a dip, and then did it pick back up, or did it remain constant? Or that's a great question, Roderick.
So if you're asking specifically how our industry went through COVID, like the dealership?
Your dealership. Like, how did you navigate through that?
So I was considered the only essential employee in March and April. So I was here probably 12 to 13 hours a day, and then I'd go home and I'd work probably another 4 or 5 hours a day in the beginning, because let's face it, one person's got to handle what normally, many people would handle. Other than service, that's all I had. So you really have to do everything. The governor allowed me then to have just a finance manager in the store at one point in time to do a delivery with me, but they could only be here during the delivery. Then the governor opened up to additional people. So every time we added a layer, it seemed like business got better and better and better. The weirdest part about the marketplace is some of our used cars that we normally pay $30,000 for, like at the auction, went up as high as $38,000 over the next 4 or 5 months as COVID kept kicking in and people couldn't go on vacation and they couldn't spend money and they were getting stimulus checks. So they were either coming in buying cars or they were going to Home Depot and spending money there, redoing their house. So we took advantage of it. I was buying as many used cars as I could. We were selling everything we could. Our business is about transaction. So if I'm selling you a car, Sean, you're probably going to get a trailer hitch put on in service. You're going to probably come back and get something else done in service. It just grows from there, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And so when would you say, and the last question on this, and I'm going to pivot, what would you say that the business started picking up? Because again, the statement that you said that kind of floored me is that it's been the most profitable now since the last 12 years. So you went through that horrific situation where you were the only essential employee, then just the F&I. When did the floodgates unleash?
In May, because what we did is at our group is every day, our BDC would send to me and all the GMs how many leads we'd have every day at each store. So picture you're the only person at the store and you have to handle 10 leads, then 15 leads, then 20 leads. By that time, you need help, you know what I mean? Because you can't handle all those leads by yourself,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, thank you. Let's go on to another question. Anybody, again, we're wrapping up. It's been almost an hour on here. James, you had a question or statement, sir?
Yes, can I jump in, please?
Please, absolutely.
Hey, I'm a pre-owned guy, so on this question towards the pre-owned part of your business, with the success that you're having, what part does the pre-owned play in that? And number two, do they use all the internet tools on your website like the new car people?
Going onto your website, looking for a pre-owned vehicle, are they using all that technology from Dealer eProcess, the digital retailing and the video stuff and all those things?
Well, what's the caller's first name?
His name's James.
James, here's what's really cool about Dealer eProcess. They have this product called I Spy. So when a guest comes in, they fill out a lead, their company grabs the IP address. And it lets me know every time that guest is back on my site, which is kind of like every time the guest walks in my showroom. So I can see which used cars are constantly getting viewed once I know the guy's IP address. So I can see that if you came on my digital lot Wednesday to look at an ES, Thursday to look at an IS, and which cars you're looking at. So I think that like a company like Dealer E is really good because, like I said, I took over used cars at the dealership, and it allows me to keep track of where the traffic is on which used cars. And you need to have some sort of tool on your digital lot to let you know. And I think it's better than VDPs or keeping track of a digital VDP number by seeing when the guest was on your site, what they looked at. I think it's important.
No, David, I think it's amazing. And then James, I think you were in the room when I was going through the website, and when we were going through the used car inventory, I was blown away by the used car VDPs, like with the field intel. Like it was what was it, David? A 2018 RX or something that we're looking at, and it showed all of the awards from back in 2018 from Motor Trend, from JD Powell, from Edmunds, from Kelly Blue Book. It went through the reviews, of it, and then what I thought was just off the charts was the freaking video of that woman, that spokesperson that was explaining your used car value package proposition, why to purchase a pre-owned vehicle from Northtown Lexus. I just thought that was superb.
One thing I want to add real quick is I was talking, like I said, it's a boutique agency, Dealer E, and I was talking to them about something, and they says, would you like old brochures for your old cars on the site? I said, what do you mean? You can do that? Absolutely. That is where, when you have a small agency, they're talking to you, they're looking at the site with you, and they said, yeah, we can add the 2017 brochures. I think that's great,
Absolutely. Okay. So again, guys, we got time for maybe one, maximum two more questions. We're like 2 minutes overtime. Karen from Canada, do you have any questions? There's a bunch of car people in the room. This has been a great dissection. And if you're on Clubhouse right now, remember, just click my profile and you'll see the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group. We've been live streaming in the group, and this video, because you've only heard the audio, but the video has been live streaming in here. And then probably in about a week or so, we're going to deploy this interview as a podcast on the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. But I'm going to say going once, going twice. Anybody want to open their mic on stage? Or if there's anybody in the audience that has one last question before I let David go back to making some money. All right. So then here's what I'm going to do. Closing out items right here for Clubhouse is this. This is the Millionaire Car Salesman Club. Please join the club. Just click those three dots in the corner. And again, just join the club. Follow the moderators on the panel and follow each other. It's a small room. And again, David, on behalf of Clubhouse and everybody in the industry, thank you for taking an hour out of your time to share some best practices, some strategies, and some just amazingness from your dealership, Northtown Lexus in Amherst, New York.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. The Millionaire Car Salesman podcast is sponsored in part by Dealer E-Process, VinQ, and AutoWeb, and Car Now. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.